them before they gave their last full measure of devotion to our great nation. And even if you're not a Gold Star family member, a battle buddy, a friend, or a relative of a fallen hero, all you have to do is look around and you'll see their legacy. And their legacy is us. Americans like us gathered in a free society, unified with the common purpose of honoring uncommon bravery. We are their legacy. Regardless of the place and the war fought, the purity of their sacrifice is without question. Young men and women lost their lives in order to make the freedom of others possible. More than 1 million U.S. heroes, has been mentioned, had their lives cut short while fighting in wars since the American Revolution. And today, time only permits to tell just a couple of their remarkable stories, but they are representative of many more. A century ago, America was engaged in the war to end all wars, theoretically, World War I. And it was there that a brash young aviator, they're all brash, earned the reputation for recklessness. Though he exasperated many of his superior officers, the 21-year-old pilot claimed a remarkable 18 aerial victories over German pilots in just 18 days. Frank Luke's mission was usually to bust observation balloons, which the Germans used to sight our artillery areas. When, on September 29th, 1918, Second Lieutenant Luke shot down 3 balloons as he was being relentlessly pursued by at least 8 enemy aircraft. While under heavy fire, his own plane went down near the town of Mireville, France. Surrounded by the enemy on the ground, he drew his automatic pistol and defended himself gallantly until his gun was empty of every round, and then he fell dead from a wound in the chest. Frank Luke was the first pilot to receive the Congressional Medal of Honor. Now, fast forward 92 years to another continent and another country, this time Ramadi, Iraq, with yet another determined pair of American heroes. 2 young Marines, Infantryman Corporal Jonathan Yale from Virginia and Lance Corporal Jordan Harder from Long Island. The following is from a speech that then Lieutenant General John Kelly gave to the Semper Fi Society, which one should note was delivered only a couple of days after his own son was killed in action. He said, "What we didn't know at the time and only learned a couple of days later, after I wrote a summary and submitted both Yale and Harder for posthumous Navy crosses, was that one of our security cameras, damaged initially in the blast, recorded some of the suicide attack. And it happened exactly as the Iraqis had described it. It took only 6 seconds from when the truck entered the alley until it detonated. And you can watch the last 6 seconds of their young lives. Putting myself in their heads, I suppose it took about a second or two for the Marines to separately come to the same conclusion about what was going on once the truck came into their view at the far end of the valley, which left them exactly no time to talk it over or call the sergeant to ask what they should do now. Only enough time to take a half an instant, if that, and think about what the sergeant had told them to do only a few minutes earlier. He said, "Let no unauthorized personnel or vehicles pass this area." The 2 Marines had about 5 seconds left to live. It took maybe another 2 seconds for them to present their weapons, take aim, and open up. By this time, the truck was halfway through the barriers and gaining speed the whole time. Here, the recording shows a number of Iraqi police, some of them who had fired their AKs, now scattering, running away like normal and rational men would do in that instance. Some of them, as a matter of fact, running right past the Marines themselves. They only had 3 seconds remaining in their lives. For about 2 seconds more, the recording shows the Marines' weapons firing nonstop, the truck's windshield just exploding into shards of glass as their rounds take it apart and tore into the body of the SOB that was trying to get past them to kill their brothers, both American and Iraqi, who were bedded down in the barracks, totally unaware of the fact that their lives at that moment depended entirely on 2 young Marines standing their ground. And if they had been aware, they would have known that they were safe, because 2 Marines stood between them and a crazed suicide bomber. The recording shows, in fact, the truck careened to a stop immediately in front of the 2 Marines. And in all of the instantaneous violence, Yale and Harder never hesitated. By all reports, and backed up by the recording, they never stepped back. They never even started to step aside. They never even shifted their weight. With their feet spread resolutely shoulder width apart, standing, they leaned into the danger, firing as fast as they could work their weapons. They only had 1 second left to live. The truck explodes. The camera goes blank. And 2 young men go to their God. 6 seconds. Not enough time to think about their families, their country, their flag, or about their lives or their deaths. But more than enough time for 2 very brave young men to do their duty into eternity. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the kind of people who are on watch for us all over the world, for us today. Doesn't General Kelly do an excellent job of capturing the bravery of our young heroes? Today, we would also like to extend our gratitude and support for a group or club that nobody wants to join, that has already given their country so much, the Gold Star families. So as we observe Memorial Day, these families remember their fallen loved ones every day. Children without parents, Gold Star mothers and fathers and spouses and siblings. And they will always have an empty chair at the Thanksgiving table. They can still hear the voices of those that they lost and loved. And it's up to us, all of us, to hear those voices of these families and to offer our support and express our highest gratitude. Whether the people we remembered served in World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, the war on terrorism, or any place or time in between, today we say thank you for the freedom that you've given us. We are here because of you. God bless you all for coming today. God bless America. And God bless our fallen heroes. In just a couple of minutes, we're going to have taps played, but what I'd like to do at